Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to change a linear equation that's in standard form into an equation that's in slope-intercept form. In order to be able to graph an equation, we need to have it in slope-intercept form. So a standard form equation looks like ax plus by equals c. So a, b, and c represent integers, and what's different is that the x and y are on the same side of the equal sign. So our goal is to turn it into slope-intercept form, which looks like this, which is y equals mx plus b. So basically our main goal is to have y by itself, because once we have y by itself, we can graph this equation. We could type it into our calculator into y equals, but that's very important to be able to do. So now once it's in this form, we also know the slope is our m value and the y-intercept is our b value. So here's an example. It says 3x plus 2y equals 8, and we want to get our y by itself. That's our ultimate goal. So we learned literal equations that you have to solve them by doing the opposite operations. So if you look at the y, it's being multiplied by 2 and added with 3x. So we have to undo those operations. So I don't take credit for this. I found this online, but I liked it. There are two steps that I taught you guys to follow. One is called the exciting move. We call it that because we're always starting off by moving our x. We need to move it to the other side of the equal sign by doing the opposite operation. So in this case, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. When we do that, we can cross out the left side and bring down the 2y. On the right side, we cannot subtract those because they are not like terms. Okay, so we have to leave it as 8 minus 3x. I like to rewrite it though because I like the x term first. So I can switch those by putting the negative 3x first and the positive 8 second. Now we're almost there. The y is now attached to the 2 only, and they're being multiplied together. So remember, we need to do the opposite operation. So this is called the great divide. We are going to divide everything by the coefficient of that y, which in this case is 2. When we do that, we get 1y. And then when we divide negative 3 by 2, we get a decimal, but we don't want a decimal. We want to keep our slope as a fraction. So we actually can leave it like that. If you draw a line down in front of the x, you see that negative 3 over 2 can be kept that way. It can't be simplified anymore, so we're going to leave it like that. And then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now we have our slope-intercept form equation. So 3x plus 2y equals 8 is the same as y equals negative 3 halves x plus 4. So now that we have this, we can graph it. We can either use the M and the B method, which I showed on another video, or we could type it into our calculator and find our table and plot our points from there. So M in this case would be negative 3 over 2, and B would be 4. Now there is one other way we can find the slope in the y-intercept form from this equation. It takes a little bit more memorization, but if we are given the standard form, our y-intercept can be found by dividing the c and the b. So if you know where the c and the b are, the c is always the constant by itself, and the b is the coefficient of the y, because we're always doing that great divide at the end. So if we take our equation, in this example, the same example, our c is our 8, our b is 2, and then if we divide those, we get 4, which is what we got for our y-intercept when we changed the equation. And then for slope, we would find our a value, but we have to take the opposite of it. That's what the negative means. So instead of 3, we're going to write negative 3. And then our b is 2, and that gives us our slope of negative 3 over 2, which is, again, the same we had when we did it the other way. So we can now rewrite our equation by substituting the negative 3 halves for m and the 4 for b, and we get y equals negative 3 halves x plus 4, which is exactly what we had when we did the other two steps. So if you are in standard form, the two steps we have gone over are the exciting move, which means you're going to be either adding or subtracting the x term first, and then the great divide, which is dividing everything by the number that's attached to the y. And then that'll get you your slope-intercept form. And then from there we can graph, and there is another video on graphing using M and B. That's it for today. Hope that was helpful. I know it was quick and short, but hope that was helpful. Thank you.